skincare enthusiasts, list goes on and on and on. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, on your own skincare journey, what did you find that led you to want to start this page and to sharing this advice with other people?
Mainly, I observed the fact that there's not too many Black men in the skincare industry. And from scrolling through Instagram, my feed will mainly be women or Black women, and white men. I never really seen Black men discussing skincare outside of the barbershop or getting a haircut or maybe a beard shape up here and there, but never really talked about the importance of skincare, taking care of your skin, learning how to wash your face, just basic things that you think a lot of men will already know about. So what I did was I started with my own skincare issues, and I would notice that I would have hyperpigmentation issues, but I never knew what the term was at the time. So I would do my own research, find skincare products that are created to help fix or, prevent it from happening. And then I would just use it on my face to see what the results would be. And after I did that, I was just start posting random stuff. This is back in 2018. I would just start posting random videos of what this product did for my skin. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, but this is just what I've been using. And I started getting questions from guys and other people altogether. I was just getting more questions about, well, what are you using for this? Or where are you buying this? How'd you find this? Or should I use this on my skin? And that kind of just made everything fall into place.
So when you started, was it with the intention of specifically men, or were you just trying to help people overall?
When I started, it was geared directly towards men. That was my target audience. That's who I wanted to reach first, even though all of my skincare tips are for anybody. Anybody could use them. Anybody could ask me questions. I mean, it's not just a one size fits all, but my main target audience is men because I feel like there's a lack of representation in the beauty and skincare industry for men altogether, especially men of color. And also, it's a big stigma when it comes to skincare in men. It's a masculinity issue, it's an insecurity issue, it's a lack of representation in these stores. Like if you go to Ulta and Sephora, you'll see a lot of women's faces on skincare products. You see a lot of pinks and purples, and that really deters men from buying a product that's made for them as well. And even though we say all the time, hey, this product is for men too. Men can use Fenty Skin, men can use Kylie Skin or something like that that's not marketed necessarily towards men, and they're still not going to use it. So that's pretty much why I started my platform, is to mainly reach out to men and let them see a familiar face or see this is what another man is doing. So I feel like I should be able to do it too. So it's just kind of breaking that stigma down, making men more comfortable with skincare.
And as your platform was growing, how did it feel for you to know that people were comfortable and had confidence in you to be able to ask you those questions, and you were doing something that was ultimately to help them?
Well, it started off really slow at first. I wouldn't get as many questions. I wasn't getting a lot of views. So I was just posting just to post. I've even started a YouTube channel that really didn't blow up because men weren't looking up that type of content. So I was mainly finding it easier to target specific issues and then connect that to men. So the first real major skincare thing that I was focusing on was beard care, because a lot of men have beards, a lot of men ask those questions. So I was just kind of just finding my way up the ladder by getting targeted men's issues and then branching off. And I think it was more comfortable for men to reach out to me just basically because I wasn't doing it in a way to make them uncomfortable. I wasn't creating content like the normal makeup artist who is applying makeup and doing eyeshadows and all that type of stuff. I was strictly doing skincare. I would just make a video, washing my face, putting on the toner, putting on the moisturizer, and telling them why this is important. And I think it was making the process a lot simpler for them to understand. And that's when it started coming in. And the more products and the more sponsorships I was getting, the more men were coming to me saying, hey, what's this product you're using? Or where can I get this product? Or how do you use this? Or how do you use that? And it's just generated a conversation. I respond to everybody that sends me a message. I respond to all the comments. And anytime anybody has a question to ask me, I'm always going to answer. If I don't know the answer, I will do research myself and get back with them. But I always make sure I tell everybody that I'm not a professional esthetician. I'm not a dermatologist. I haven't been professionally trained. Everything that I do is based off my own experience and my own research. So I always leave it open for them to learn about their skincare. That's mainly the question I start off, especially with men. I ask them first, do you know your skin type? Because that right there is the catalyst for how you're going to take care of your skin from that point on. So that starts the conversation. And a lot of men don't know what a skin type is. They just say, hey, my face is dry, or I have oily skin. And they don't realize that that's considered a skin type. So I just make it easier to start the conversation, making it more relatable, and just, I guess, being that person that I don't have all the answers, but I'm more than willing to answer anything.
And you kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted to backtrack a little bit. So as you said, it is very, or just skincare and these kind of products are tailored to women. So how do you combat the statement that this is something that's feminine? And how do you respond to people who are kind of trying to downplay what you're doing by saying it's predominantly for women?
That's one thing that I'm battling to this day. Like, to this very moment, I'm still fighting to help a lot of men understand that skincare is for everybody. Skincare doesn't have a gender. Skincare is not created for just women. And even something as simple as washing your face with soap, that's skincare. Like, a lot of men don't realize that's what they're doing. They may not be doing it correctly, but you have a skincare regimen. You just don't know how to tailor it. You have issues with your skin that you don't know how to fix, but you're too nervous to fix it. And that's what I was saying before. It's a marketing issue that I feel like the beauty and the skincare industry need to adjust, because every skincare product that's sold in a store is not just for women. Even makeup is not just for women. Men can use makeup too. It's just that's the only face you see. So it's kind of hard to break that barrier whenever marketing is putting it out there and it's kind of saying otherwise. So a lot of the things that I do in my videos, especially on Instagram, is I take those products that have women's faces on them and I use them. And I'm showing men, hey, this may be a pink bottle, but these ingredients is good for my skin. This is what's helping me clear my skin. This is getting rid of those blemishes. This is helping me get rid of ingrown hairs. Or, hey, this is a product they sell in the beauty supply store and they say it helps your hair grow. Well, I use it on my beard and it helps my beard stay moisturized, it grows longer, it stays healthy. So it's kind of just taking all those products that appear feminine and then I use them in my videos to make that example of this is not just for women. And you can use it too. Don't be afraid to use it. Even if you are afraid to use it, ask me a question about an alternative that doesn't look too intimidating. Like, if this is a pink bottle, you don't want to buy this pink bottle. Okay, well, this brand has a white bottle, the same ingredients, same issues that you want to fix, you can do that.
So I'm curious, what sparked you into using these products, even though they're marketed towards women? Was it like you doing your own research and just trying it, or how did it happen for you? Like, how did you find yourself where you are now?
Honestly, I didn't look at who they were marketed to. A lot of the marketing that I did pay attention to was if I seen people that looked like me. So regardless if it was a woman or a man, I wanted to see a man or a woman of color on the packaging or in the marketing before I use it, because I learned that a lot of skincare products are not made for us. And when I say that, it's not made for our type of skin. And that's really what started my journey with skincare. My first video was when I discovered Urban Skin RX. And of course, the reason why I was drawn to that in Target is because I seen Black faces on the marketing. I seen Black faces in the promotion. So I would say, okay, well, maybe this is for our skin, so let me try it out. Of course, I fell in love with the brand, and that's when I made my first video. And that's from there on, that's kind of what started my journey in content creation. But I didn't really care if it was a pink bottle or anything like that. Like, it doesn't bother me. I stay in Sephora. I spend the most money in Sephora. People in Sephora know me when I walk in. So I don't care about stuff like that. That it doesn't bother me. And that's why I'm trying to get my platform out there for other men to feel the same way. Because I'll go to the mall, and it's funny that you'll see at the Sephora store, you'll see all the women's husbands and male friends, they'll be standing outside the door waiting while the women are inside shopping. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna walk in here and get my stuff. I don't understand why y'all sitting outside, because everything in here is for everybody. So I don't have a problem with buying anything that's marketed towards women. I mean, as long as it's not a product that's specifically made for a woman, as far as like feminine hygiene and stuff like that. Of course, I'm not gonna buy stuff like that. But the bottle is pink. I don't care. It may have the ingredients that I need, or it may be a vitamin C that I want for my face. I don't care if the bottle's pink. So what? This is what I'm using on my face. It's not about this woman sitting on the package. It's about the fact that this is good for my skin. This is what I need to use. If you ask the dermatologist, if you ask the esthetician, they're probably going to say the same thing. It's really hard to get men to ignore the aspect of who's on the box and all that. But like I said, for me personally, I didn't care. It was about the product itself versus who was on the product.
Now, when you first questioned, you mentioned the first brand that led you to making your first video, and you saw people who ultimately looked like you. So when you're doing your partnerships and promotions, do you mainly try to stick with Black owned and Black representative organizations, or are you just kind of open to all products and people who make them?
Right now, I'm open to all products, but I will say that majority of my partnerships are Black owned. I have made some 2 to 3 major brands that I partner with on the regular. And the reason why is because even though they're not a Black owned brand, their products are good and healthy for our skin, because a lot of them are fragrance free, they're paraben free, they're all the chemical compounds that you don't need on your skin. These brands are known for that. They're also dermatologist and esthetician approved. So even though they're not Black owned, these are very high quality products. So I will stick behind them. But I will say there have been some brands that I've turned down that have asked me to promote their products, because I will go to their page, and the first thing I do anytime somebody asks me to partner with them is I'll go to their website and I look at the products for myself. Automatically, if that product I know is just it's not going to benefit anybody that looks like me, I'm just going to turn it down. For example, I've had a company to offer me like hair pomades, dry shampoo, and I'm like, so honestly, do you think a Black man is going to use dry shampoo or like hair slick pomade? That's not for me, so I'm not going to market that type of product. So I do love, and I do try to find more Black owned brands. Like I have a couple coming up that are local that I didn't even know existed in my state. So I'm excited to share those products. But I prefer Black owned products because I know they're made for my skin. But I also will go to the general products because of the quality.
So you said you started in 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is something or a few things that you've learned since you very first got started up until now, and even are still learning?
Content creation is extremely hard. And not only is content creation hard, but content creation in the beauty industry is even harder, because even though I'm making skincare content for men, I'm competing with skincare content for everybody. I'm also competing with makeup artists and hairstylists and people that create wigs. I'm competing with all these people under the same umbrella, which I didn't realize that until I started YouTube. And when I started YouTube, and I realized it was going absolutely nowhere, because nobody's looking up men's skincare as much as they're looking up contouring or eyeshadow palettes, brand reviews. So what I started off doing was just creating videos just to create them based off of what I already had in my room in my bathroom, what I was using on a daily basis, to now, of course, I target specific types of brands. I focus on what I need to do for my skin, as far as if I have hyperpigmentation, those are the products I'm looking for. Those are the products I talk about. So it's still hard at this point because, like I said, it's not too many of me out here doing skincare content specifically for men, especially men of color. So what I'm learning now is that I can't necessarily verbalize in my content that, hey, this is for Black men. I just have to make it and put it out there. The more people see it, the more Black men see it, regardless if I'm verbally saying it, they're seeing me do it. So they're going to be drawn into it. They're going to ask more questions. Now, they may not ask me directly. They may save it. They may ask somebody else, or they may share it, or they may just, send me a message. Hey, they won't even like the content, but they'll send me a message and say, hey, so yeah, I've been trying to get into skincare, or I've been trying to fix this issue with my skin. What do you suggest? So I've learned that from the beginning, that people are not just going to come to me just because I'm creating the content. It's going to take a lot of prepping, a lot of content pushing, a lot of me talking about different products before people actually can trust me. And that's another thing that I'm still learning now too, is to gain the trust of people on social media. Because like I said, it's a big competition. It's not easy to stay on trends, especially between TikTok and Instagram Reels. Like, social media in itself is advancing so fast. And so it's so hard to like keep up with that, making sure I stay within skincare, follow the trends, posting at a certain time, all that. All this right here is so new from 2018 when I first started, where I was just posting randomly. And then now is, you got to do a 5-second video and post it at 11 o'clock. You have to go on TikTok, post this video, but make sure it's 10 seconds long, post it at 12 o'clock, but you got to post it at 12 o'clock Central Time. Like, everything is getting so meticulous and complicated. But what I'm learning now is that I have to continue to earn the trust of my audience by continuing to push the content. So I have to make content every day. I have to stay on a schedule. I have to learn about analytics. I have to learn about what brands look for, because a lot of the content that I push out, the brands don't know who I am. They've never seen me before. I don't have those type of connections, but they'll see my content and they're like, hey, we've never seen anybody like him doing it. So we're going to reach out to him and say, hey, we got this product. We like what you're doing. So that's another thing that I've learned overall from 2018 to now, is connecting with brands, because they don't see a lot of men like me doing this. And I think that's, not only is it a good thing, but I feel like I'm actually achieving something. I'm actually accomplishing what I was set out to do, because now brands are starting to pay attention and they're reaching out, whether they're small local brands or major brands. The first thing everybody says to me is, hey, we like what you're doing. We've never really seen it before. We don't see a lot of it. So overall, what I'm really learning is that content creation, skincare is constantly changing. It's very difficult to keep up with. But from 4 years ago until now, I'm learning more about the different types of skincare. I'm learning about actually partnering and doing the business side of being a creator. I'm learning more about technology, because at first I would just sit there and wonder, how are people editing these videos, or how are you doing all these transitions? And now it's like, I see you got to learn how to use a camera. You got to learn how to use editing software. You got to learn about copyright music. Like, it's so much in the content creation realm that I'm learning to this day that you can do, cannot do, and trying to keep up with younger people, because they're quick on it. They'll start a trend in a second. So staying on the trends and all that which didn't exist 4 years ago, that exists now. So it's hard, but I think I'm doing good where I am right now, is trying to keep up the pace, make sure I still talk about what I need to talk about and get my message out there.
And I know you're wanting to market yourself to brands and make those connections, but have you made connections with any other content creators that can kind of help you along the way, or like you bounce off of each other?
So when I got selected for the Glow Up program from Urban Skin RX, and it was a program that they made for content creators who wanted to talk about skincare. They would sponsor your content by sending you products. Who have little seminars and meetings with their social media teams about just overall content creation, partnering with brands, um, posting certain types of content and how to post certain types of content. Basically, just teaching you how to be a content creator overall. So when I joined that program, I joined it with 4 other people, and we would talk amongst each other on Instagram. We would have an Instagram group. So bouncing off of ideas of other people who were like me, who were not major influencers, who were not like the hundreds of thousands of followers. They were on the same level as me as far as being a nano or micro influencer. So it was easy to talk to them because we all had the same issues. We all had the same struggles. We're all still trying to figure out how to grow. So if one person knew how to do fancy reels, we would ask them, hey, what's the camera using? Or how do you do these transitions? Or how is your content so high quality on Instagram? So we will bounce information from each other. And then after the Urban Skin ended, I applied and got selected for the Paula's Choice on the Rise program, which is another creator program, but this one was for Black creators in skincare. And it's about 8 of us. And we also started an Instagram group. And the good thing about this group is that we are at different levels of being an influencer. There's some people that have hundreds of thousands of followers, and then there's some people that only have hundreds of followers. But we all collaborate with each other, bouncing off ideas. When they give us a topic, they'll say, hey, we want you to do Black history videos for the month of February, talk about this. We all get together in this group and we bounce ideas off of each other of like what type of content you want to create, what type of ideas that you have, or well, how do you use these products in your videos? And what are you doing? Or does this product work for you? So it's nice to know that there's more of me out here that are trying to find a way in this skincare community, trying to grow. And there's also people that have kind of established themselves that are willing to offer advice as well. And I do follow some people that are major in the skincare industry, and the people that I follow, and I've actually had like conversations on the side with them, they've been very open about what to do on social media, or, hey, I see you using this product. I use this brand all the time. Maybe you should try it out. Just maybe if even just like a small suggestion. It's just that I realized that the skincare community, even though it's really big, everybody is willing to help each other. So it's really a tight-knit community at the end of the day. So not only just being in those programs and bouncing ideas off of each other who are like me and on the same level as me, but being able to have those connections who have like actually made a name for themselves on social media, that's making it a whole lot easier too.
Now, going back to you, would you consider yourself a trailblazer? Because just in my experience, and even some of the people that I've talked to, it, like you said, it's not very common that someone is out here marketing towards men, but especially African American men. So would you consider yourself a part of something bigger and something that can be helpful to people who look like you in the future?
Definitely. I will. I mean, I'm one of those people that doesn't like to I get very shy when it comes to attention and recognition and all that. But I will say, yeah, I do think I'm a trailblazer because there's not too many people out here doing it. And even though I may be one of the select few that's doing it, they're not doing it like me. I know I have a specific style. I know I have a specific voice in the industry. And I know eventually my voice is going to be heard. My style is going to be seen as this is okay. We know this is Ricardo Ron. And then when there's future creators that are going to come after me that are going to follow in my footsteps and be like, hey, he's been doing this. I want to do this too. They're going to be able to say that, hey, Ricardo Ron is the one who inspired me to do this. I mean, I'm not the type of person that likes to be the center of attention, but eventually whenever I do blow up from doing this, I will say, yeah, I'm a trailblazer. I'm the one who I didn't necessarily start this trend, but I'm definitely one of the voices that got the trend moving. I'm the reason why men are now being more comfortable with self care, making sure their body is cleansed the perfect way, or knowing how to pick a certain cologne, knowing how to take care of their beard, knowing that if they get a breakout, how to correct it. Like, I want everybody to say, hey, I seen this guy on social media and he's the one that showed me how to do it. So I definitely want, if I'm not considered a trailblazer now, I definitely will be in the next couple of years.
And getting down to the last couple of questions here, what is some advice that you would give men who don't know where to start? If whether it's skincare or even trying to find the right place to look for answers, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to keep it simple. Find a cleanser, find a moisturizer with SPF, and start from there. You learn more about your skin whenever you start using more products. And I would say it's a little advanced to start learning more about your skin type, but a lot of guys have that idea. Like, we know if we have oily skin, we know if we have dry skin. So I would say just start trying certain cleansers. If this cleanser makes your skin feel dry, then you know you can't use that. If this moisturizer makes your skin dry out, don't use that one. That was not made for your skin. So I always tell guys to start very simple. It doesn't have to be the serums and the oils and this moisturizer and that moisturizer. Start off very simple. There's a lot of skincare products that offer like a set or a kit where it's a cleanser, a toner, a moisturizer. And like I said, just keep it simple. Start off with a basic cleanser, start off with a basic moisturizer. Make sure you're using sunscreen because that's very important to me, and it's very important to tell everybody that sunscreen has to be worn every day. The reason why you may have skincare issues is because you're not protecting yourself from the sun, and you don't realize the sun is the reason why you may be having these skincare issues. So start off simple and then work your way up to the active ingredients and the serums and the oils and all that. But learn about your skin first, learn what works for your skin, and then go from there.
And do you have any plans going forward? Like maybe one day you want to release a book, or maybe you plan on starting your own skincare line. Is that anything you started thinking about?
I've played with that idea actually. I do want to have my own brand. I'm not sure if at this moment, I'm not sure if I want to stick with skincare or if I just want to go under the entire beauty umbrella and do skincare, hair, and beard. So I've definitely thought about it, but one goal that I've kept it as a dream and a goal to pursue of mine, especially now and in the future, is that I want to create a store that is virtually the equivalent of an Ulta or Sephora, but geared towards men. Even like, even it's almost like a Sephora or Ulta like alternate version where you'll see more men in the marketing. You're going to see more men on the shelves on the products. You're going to see more men shopping there. So even though it's going to be a similar store that's going to sell similar products to the rest of the beauty and skincare stores, I want to create that store that is more inviting and more comforting for a man to come into and shop for the same skincare products that they see in Sephora and Ulta. And it may be as simple as me opening up a store with a different color palette that's going to attract a man, or opening up just a small boutique and then spreading across the country. So that's my ultimate goal is to start a skincare brand, but it's also to get a chain of stores that I can say that men can go to find these products and feel comfortable in this store.
That sounds really great, really doable. So, what is something else like that you want my readers and the readers of this story to know whenever it is released?
I would say that just to understand that skincare is for everybody, and that we all benefit from self-care. We all benefit from having things in our life that make us more confident and feel good about ourselves. And one thing that you can do personally at home just to make yourself feel good, to make yourself relax or make you feel more confident is skincare. You can have your own spot at home. You can have your own regimen, your own time to yourself. This is the time that you groom and just feel comfortable in your own skin. And it doesn't have to be as difficult as you may see it on social media. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just skincare is something for you. And regardless if you're a man or a woman, if you're gay or straight, everybody benefits from it. Everybody needs it. Everybody should learn about it. So let's just more so encourage the inclusiveness of skincare and stop just thinking that, hey, you know, skincare, spa, body care, all that stuff is more feminine whenever it's made for everybody. Everybody benefits from it. So just try it.